Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria. I'm Olumide Macaulay. On today's program, reactions greet announcement of Edo governorship results released by INEC as PDP candidate rejects outcome amidst protests by some voters. Unidentified youth invade Imo State Specialist Hospital in Owerri, destroy property worth millions of naira. And police intensify operations to find notorious Benue gang leader known as Ghana as AIG Zone 4 joins in the search. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin in the South-South, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced the results of 17 out of 18 local government areas in the governorship elections in Edo State. Mr. Basaki secured 12,862 votes in Onwa West, 26,177 votes in Egor, and 7,802 votes in Igwebe. The APC candidate picked 10,911 votes in Owode and 37,612 votes in Oredo, and the PDP got 8,667 votes. On his part, Mr. Eze Yamu picked 11,466 votes in Esa Southeast, 16,446 votes in Orionwo, and 16,311 votes in Esa West, and 16,220 in Esa Northeast. There were also victories for Mr. Basaki in Onwa East, Ovia Northeast, as well as Esa Central, while Mr. Izeyamu won in Esa Central. The results of Ovia Southwest is still being awaited. Meanwhile, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Sage Izeyamu, has rejected the results announced so far by the Independent National Electoral Commission in the just concluded Edo State governorship election. The PDP candidate is alleging inducement of voters and collaboration of INEC and the state government to doctor the results in favor of the APC.
Even within INEC, a lot of people have called us to protest about the manipulations going on, even within INEC. Apart from the feedback we've gotten, we asked yesterday, why are they not ready to announce the results? And we were told that they needed time to be able to perfect some of the results. That as it is now, it's not tidy, and they wanted to perfect it. On the basis of that, they started working. And people in INEC called us, even last night, to hold a press conference to deny what was happening in INEC. But we just felt that it would be possible to start calling a press conference at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And so we decided that we should do it this morning. And by the time the results started coming, it was clear to us that the information we got was correct. So we do not intend to wait for all the results to be announced. Insofar as even one result has clearly shown to us that what they are announcing is pre-written and predetermined. So we are very dissatisfied with what has happened. On what we intend to do is very simple. We don't want to resort to violence, that is not our nature. But the first thing we will do is to look at all the results. And then we will publish for Edo people to see what should have been the correct result and what INEC has done. Clearly, what they are announcing now cannot be what happened yesterday. In fact, by the time they finish, it will appear that this is the lowest turnout in Edo State history. But you know that this is the highest. So how come there's such a conflict in the result? And again, people are calling us now on TV to say that our results in Edo Central are being rejected on the basis that the car readers there did not work. So if INEC send car readers to Edo Central that do not work, does that not tell the story?
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress, the APC, has described the reaction of the state governorship election results by the People's Democratic Party as, quote, an act of a sore loser. The chairman of the Edo State APC chapter, Mr. Ansem Ojezua, says that the entire process of the election had been nothing but peaceful. He adds that though the announcement of the results is still ongoing, he commends INEC so far. Mr. Ojezua adds that INEC was efficient in delivery of materials to ensure they got to locations on time. The APC chairman is also asking the PDP to channel its grievances to the appropriate quarters. Staying with the Edo State governorship elections, a large crowd gathered outside the INEC office in Benin City to protest against some of the results released by the electoral umpire. The police had been able to bring the situation under control, but some voters in Oredo local government area insist that the results announced by INEC is not a reflection of the process.
How agitated these people are. They are angry. If you look at what is written on the placards here, you can see the cannon session of the police. It's a man on the horseback, and they are really ready to make sure that calm and peace is restored. Why are you here? Because the results are not totally in.
We are here because what transpired yesterday in our various centers, it differs from what they are announcing in the results that we saw on telly. As I speak to you here, I'm an agent. I have my results from my unit, which I won. The figures here, they are all with me. But what I saw on telly is different from what was announced in my center. So it is painful for me to have done so well. I got my result in my hand, and for God in the INEC to announce a different thing on telly. I will take it.
All right, but the results are not totally. There are just 9 results that are in.
They have, listen to me. They have announced my center already from Oredo. They've announced it, which is not, it was not tally with the result I got from my unit. So I have to protest. I have to carry out a peaceful protest.
Edo states the number of results in have increased from that number, our correspondent was saying, since to 17 as at this time. And but we'll move away from the Edo State now and to other news, where the 3rd of October, Monday, has been declared a public holiday as Nigeria marks her 56th Independence Day. Making the announcement in a statement today, the Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdulrahman Dambazo, congratulated Nigerians on the nation's anniversary and gave an assurance that the government is working to cushion the effects of the recession. He appealed to Nigerians to continue to support President Muhammadu Buhari's efforts to build a strong, virile and united country in line with the dream of the country's founding fathers. In the southeast, unidentified youth have invaded the Imo State Specialist Hospital in Owerri, causing heavy destruction and damage to property worth millions of naira. An eyewitness account says the youth in their numbers carried out the invasion, claiming that the corpse of one of their kinsmen, who was murdered by a local vigilante, was deposited in the hospital.
Shattered doors and windows, burnt and damaged vehicles scattered round the premises of the Imo State Specialist Hospital. Victims of the destruction already counting their losses. The unidentified youth in their numbers stormed the hospital premises around 2 p.m. shortly after a corpse was deposited at the hospital mortuary.
At a point, we closed the gate and they were outside. Before you knew it, they regrouped. A lot of them. There were so many that I can't just, because everybody was afraid. And so when they arrived there, we closed the gate. They summoned themselves, and then they went ahead gathering fuel and a lot of things from the filling station. And suddenly they climbed over the fence, broke the gate, and they came into the hospital, damaging all sorts of things, and they started burning vehicles.
While corroborating the story, the chief medical director of the hospital said the invasion was a surprise but would have been a lot worse if the police didn't intervene early enough.
I risked my life to address them. What I heard them say was that the Imo Security Network killed an innocent person and brought it to a hospital. You can see the police are here. They've done their job. Of course, at this moment, we can say that the only thing we are afraid is a revisit.
On his part, the Imo State Commissioner of Police, who visited the scene for an on-the-spot assessment, described the incident as unfortunate and however promised that all perpetrators will be brought to book.
We have succeeded in quelling the situation, but investigation is on. I will ensure that the perpetrators are arrested, investigated, and prosecuted.
Those seeming calmness may have returned to the hospital. Questions bordering on the invader's identity and real reasons behind the attack hopefully will be answered when the police conclude on their investigation.
You're watching news across Nigeria. Stay with us. Child protection specialists kick against an increasing number of cases of violence against children in Plateau State.